Jagannath Das Prabhu, anything you'd like to share, Prabhu?
Sure.
Or
I have something to share.
sure, go ahead.
Or maybe I can share my screen.
Okay, let me give you screen share. How do I do this? Multiple. Okay, go ahead, Prabhu. I think you should be able to share now.
Okay.
Okay, Christopher. Okay, Christopher is there.
Do you see
Oh,
this?
yeah. Can you read and
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've been stressing so much about like the shape of the earth and the fifth canto, and sometimes it's been disturbing my mood and stuff like that. So I just read this recently, and it helped kind of relieve some of that stress and make me not
okay,
focus on it so much. I'll just read the whole thing.
sure.
Later in his room, Srila Prabhupada discussed more about Vedic cosmology with Param, Paramahamsa. The different
Yes.
planetary orbits, Srila Prabhupada said, were all independent. The so-called law of gravity was not mentioned as such in the Vedic literature. Prabhupada answered a few more of Paramahamsa's questions about the current work of Srimad Bhagavatam, fifth canto, and then fell silent. Actually, he added after a few minutes, I'm not giving any more information, simply what is there. Prabhupada was frank. I'm not an astronomer, so I may not understand all the details. Those details are given in another part of the Vedas. Shukadeva Goswami is giving some basic summary ideas of the universal operation. The stress, Prabhupada concluded, is on devotion, not geography.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. That you are very interested in, trying to figure the whole thing out. So, right, from what I
Yeah.
understand. Excellent. So that's a wonderful realization that, you're sharing, that instead of trying to figure out the whole thing, we should focus in serving Srila Prabhupada and devotion.
Yeah, I think it's a lifetime of study. I think it's very hard to understand.
Yeah, I mean, Krishna is unlimited creative potency. How can you understand it unless, you are, I guess, a very exalted person.
Yeah,
Even
but
then,
the
I think
problem,
yes, never
the,
mind.
the yeah, the problem is it's not so much being an exalted person because we are not and we cannot be exalted persons.
Yeah,
Exalted persons are way beyond our capacity.
to
In
understand.
the, I mean, if you're going to go to the top of Mount Kailash, or if you're going to oh, go to the forest of Naimisharanya and discuss the sages, that's exalted association.
Yeah,
We're not like that. We're the lowest of the low.
yeah,
Technically, we're malachans. We're untouchables by birth. So because of that, and I'm saying most of Hindus also have become
oh
untouchables
yeah,
anyhow.
everyone.
So because of that, that's not what our concentration is. Our concentration is on the fact that Prabhupada is a pure devotee, and we want to get out of the material universe. We want to get out of the material world and go back to home, back to Godhead. I believe that's the basic idea in most people. Of course, there's all those that want to become gurus and have followers, so all that. That's their problem. But
Yeah,
we don't need to be burdened with that. So by hearing Prabhupada directly from his kirtans, particularly, everything that Prabhupada said, you can listen. But
yeah,
to have a Sankirtan, Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement depends entirely on us studying Prabhupada's kirtans, not somebody else's kirtans. I mean, when you stop to think of the contrast between hearing Prabhupada's kirtans and somebody else's kirtans, doesn't it make you say, you know, gag me with a maggot or something, you know what I mean?
okay, maggot.
Yeah. Who wants, who can imagine that something outside of Prabhupada would be of equal or superior value to Prabhupada? That's what they're boiling it down to. They say, oh, I'm from Prabhupada. Oh, he's a very great soul. He's dead. And we make sure you understand that. And we make the temples such that there's temples to represent his death and his deadness. But what about if he's not dead? Then you have a big problem because that means that Prabhupada will be alive and everybody else will be dead. So that's their job, is to bring Prabhupada into the to discover that Prabhupada is already in the center, take shelter of Prabhupada in the center, and then let others, when the studies there of Prabhupada's kirtans, then when the devotees who have studied it and used it in kirtan in the temples go out in the street, the kirtans in the street will be so electrifying that people will want to come and join the temple immediately, the way they did back in 1967.
Okay, we have another devotee named Christopher. Christopher, can you unmute yourself and speak? Prabhu, can you